Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing a reading vlog. I'm currently reading Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, which is the Classics Clique book of the month. If you want to join Classics Clique on Goodreads so you can talk about a different classic every month, I'll leave that linked in the information bar below. But I thought I would do a reading vlog with this book today because I've started it over this weekend and I'm really enjoying it. I'm actually nearly halfway, which I kind of didn't realise. So yeah, I'm not going to be revealing spoilers or anything like that in this video, just reactions. Basically, I thought I would start off with telling you like my initial thoughts and what the book is about and that kind of thing. This is a classic that was written in I think the 1920s or the 1930s, thereabouts, and I keep thinking that it's set in the Victorian era, but it's totally not. It's set in the 20s or 30s. I think I'm just used to reading classics that are set in the Victorian era, so I kind of like automatically expect that, and because this is mostly set on like a big estate, I instantly picture like the Jane Eyre kind of estates, you know? It's weird because whenever they're in a car or something like that, I'm always thinking that they're going to have like a carriage with horses, but no. This book is about a young woman who marries a man who had a previous wife called Rebecca who had passed away. So she's this man's second wife and she feels like she's inadequate compared to Rebecca. Like she never knew her, but she feels like she's second best, you know, which understandably is kind of an awkward situation to be in. And she does repeatedly say like she's very young and like this happened when she was young and the guy's a lot older than she is, so she isn't really familiar with like how to run a household and things like that. She's also not from a very wealthy background, so she feels inadequate in that way as well. So far my impression of it is that like she's overreacting. It does seem like a very immature kind of response. And I think of myself like as a teenager, maybe if this happened to me, that's how I would react. But I think as an adult, if you've met someone whose previous wife passed away, you're going to understand that that loss is a big deal and it's never going to not be a big deal. But you'd also understand that you're not like second best to that. You're not just like a replacement. Your relationship is like separate. It's its own thing, you know? So I'm finding that interesting. Like it would be a weird situation to be in, but she definitely is quite immature about it. And she also feels like there's something that people aren't telling her. She feels like she's out of the loop and that something's happened that no one will explain. So yeah, it's super mysterious and so far I am loving this book. First of all, the writing style. I think it's the writing style as well that reminds me of the Victorian era, like those kind of classics. I love the writing in this book. I think it's beautiful. The main character has these moments where she's imagining how things could happen, whether it's positive or negative, because she sometimes like worries about things that will happen and she'll like go through the whole scenario of like what might happen, but sometimes she's kind of fantasizing, and I really like that because I feel like that's something that I do a lot in my head. You know, you imagine like possible scenarios and like what could happen. So yeah, and I just love the setting. I think any like English beautiful like estate like that is a dream setting for a book for me. I love that. And I saw someone commented in the Goodreads forum, which I will check out in a little bit, and she said something about there being like a big twist, so I'm curious about that as well and I can't wait to read to that point to find out what happens. I'm not going to be filming clips of myself reading just because that is the number one thing that puts me off doing reading vlogs, and I know you guys really like reading vlogs and I don't do them as often as I would like. I'd ideally like to do one a week, but filming clips of myself reading just puts me off doing them because it's not fun. When I read, I just want to read. I don't want to worry about like turning a camera off and on and like whether the lighting's right, because I actually have to close blinds and things in this room and it's actually quite dark in here because otherwise it's too bright and I don't like reading in this, you know, kind of light. So I'd rather just read as a natural human reader and then I'll come back and film clips in between to like give you my reactions and that kind of thing. And when I watch other people's reading vlogs or just vlogs in general, those parts of them just doing stuff that's like sped up with music, I always skip over them anyway because personally I don't like those sections, but I like hearing people's reactions, so I figure I'm just going to film reactions and like parts of my day and like that kind of stuff. So that's what I'm going to try. I have washing like sitting in the washer and the dryer at the moment, so I need to take care of that. I want to check the comments on that Goodreads forum and have a look at those, and I also want to get a glass of orange juice and then I'm going to read. And actually also I have to check the Harry Potter Hogwarts mystery game. I've got a video about that coming up in a couple of days because I'm obsessed with that game and I have to check in and see how everybody's doing and see if I can like finish the lesson that I'm doing at the moment. I'm doing a transfiguration lesson, turning a like cat cauldron back into a cauldron, I think, or it might turn it into a cat, I'm not sure, we'll find out. But yeah, I have to check in on the game and see how that's doing. Yep, it turned the cauldron into a cat. Love it. So I'm just on Goodreads reading the comments on the Rebecca thread. Alexandra said that she was searching for the heroine's name because we never found out what it is. The only name that we hear our character, like the main protagonist's name, referred to is Mrs. De Winter, which is like her married name. And yeah, as she was searching for the heroine's name, Alexandra accidentally found out what a big plot twist is. So that's so sad. I hate when you accidentally spoil yourself like that. It's the worst. So I'm curious to find out what the big plot twist is. Alexandra said that she's still very curious to see how this plot twist is actually handled in the book. So it's good that, like, even though she knows what it is, still worth reading about. It's very mysterious. It's not like a thriller, edge of your seat by any means, but there's definitely a mystery in there, and it's definitely a little bit creepy. So I'm just going to reply to this comment, and I think there's another one on our May suggestions. So if you want to jump on Goodreads, join the Classics Clique group, and then you can suggest books that you want to read, like classics for May. So far, let me look what our suggestions are so far for May. I know Crime and Punishment is on there because that's the one that Alexandra has been talking about it because she's read it before. We've also had, my other suggestion was Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen because that's one of the Jane Austen books I haven't read yet. And there's also been The Great Gatsby suggested, which I just watched the movie of that last night or the night before. It's so good. Such a good movie. I love that. I love the book as well. And Jane Eyre is the other one that's been suggested. I got my orange juice. Do you guys ever, as soon as you feel like you're getting a cold, you go out and buy orange juice even though you know it's too late? Because that's kind of what I did. I thought I was getting a cold, although actually I'm actually feeling quite good, so I think I might have beaten it off with the orange juice, which is good. And also, typically the weather this weekend has been, because I'm filming this on the weekend, the weather has been freezing, like really cold. But typically the day that I decide, right, I'm going to do a reading vlog because it's going to be freezing, I might as well just read all day and do a reading vlog. It's actually quite warm. It's a very nice sunny day outside. Typical. But yeah, meh, still going to read all day anyway. Okay, so just real quick, something that I forgot to mention. I just like read the first page of I'm up to chapter 13 at the moment. And I just remembered something that I wanted to mention when I was talking about the book and like my thoughts so far. It deals with anxiety, like social anxiety and maybe just like general anxiety. It's really interesting to me. It's something that I can really relate to. The main character, she gets really worried about having to deal with social interactions to the point that she'll try and like hide from them, and I find that super relatable. And it's just interesting to see a character in this kind of time period dealing with anxiety, because it's not explicitly called anxiety, but I'd say that's what she's dealing with. Her husband, Mr. De Winter, often talks about it as being like her shyness, and yeah, I'm just finding that really interesting and super relatable. And it's really nice, yeah, just to see a character in like a completely different social setting, rather than like YA contemporaries dealing with anxiety. I'm finding it really interesting. So it kind of reminds me in that sense of Fangirl, with how Kath would like avoid doing things because she didn't want to have to deal with social interactions. It's kind of similar feelings in this book, and I think a lot of it does come from the fact that our protagonist is completely out of her element. She doesn't really know what to do in these situations, so she reacts kind of badly just because they're unfamiliar to her and that scares her. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Okay, so I just finished chapter 13, and let me tell you, that was a creepy chapter. Two kind of like major things happened, and the first one, I think our character just learnt a little bit more about Rebecca, which was creepy, but I don't think she's quite grasped that that information was about Rebecca. Like, I'm assuming it is, and I think it is, but actually now that I think about it, it could have been about a different character. Yeah, so she learned something about a woman, but she doesn't know which woman, and I don't think our character's given much thought to who that information is about. But yeah, very interesting. And then the other thing that happened is that there's someone in the house who she thinks perhaps shouldn't have been in the house, and that's a whole other mystery, it feels like, that's going on. So I don't know how that's going to tie in, but I'm interested in that as well. That was a really good chapter anyway. And side note, I've put on this like pajama jersey top over my t-shirt because it got like a little bit colder, and I have matching pants, which you would have seen in my thumbnail. This is like a pajama set that I got at Kmart recently. If you're in, I think it's just Australia and New Zealand, let me know if you're elsewhere and you've got this store as well. But if you know Peter Alexander, they just do pajamas basically and loungewear, and they have the nicest stuff. I've never bought anything from them because they're super expensive, but they're such nice quality. If you've ever been into a Peter Alexander store and touched anything, like everything in there is so soft, it's crazy. And anyway, this pajama set from Kmart, I touched it in the store and I was like, I have to have it because it feels just like Peter Alexander pajamas. Like these are so soft, it's ridiculous. Like I've never felt anything as soft as these pajamas in my life, so I'm super cozy, it's great. So I just took a break from reading to work on editing a couple of my videos for this week. I got one of them done and now I really don't feel like doing the other one, but I should, so I don't know what I'm gonna do, but it looks like this one's gonna take a while to process to save it anyway. I'm starving. It's only like 4:30, but I haven't had lunch today. I just had breakfast, and then because I got up kind of late, yeah, so I was like, I'll just wait till dinner, but now I'm super hungry, so I might have like a super early dinner, but then I'll be hungry later. Will's away in Adelaide at the moment. He's like doing a filming event thing, and my schedule gets so out of whack when he's not here because I kind of just lose track of time and I just don't do things to a normal schedule. I'm just all over the place. So yeah, I might make some pasta for dinner. Pasta's my favorite thing, so when Will's away I pretty much just eat pasta because I love it. After I've done that, I should edit my next video as well. Do you guys who make videos, do you ever get like that? Like, I love filming and I love, you know, putting up videos and talking to you guys and stuff, but editing is so boring. I just don't like doing it sometimes. Sometimes I like get on a roll and I'm totally in the mood for it, but today, no. I think that's just because I want to read. Like, I really just want to read Rebecca. My video is still processing, and in that time I've managed to go make dinner, so I'm glad that I'm doing it now because I couldn't have edited that next video yet anyway. So I'm just going to sit here and eat and read Rebecca. I've got pasta, it's like basil pesto, so that'll be good. And how far through am I? I'm still only just over halfway at the moment, but I'm hoping that I might finish this book tonight, to be honest, because it's really good. Rebecca has gotten so intense now. I meant to put it down and go back to editing my video quite a while ago, but it got really crazy. Man, it got good. There was this situation that happened where someone told the main character to do something and I was like, don't do it. That's not a good suggestion, not a good idea, it's gonna backfire. And she did it and it was terrible. Well, I just got to the end of chapter 19 and the biggest twist just happened. To be honest, the thought had crossed my mind that this thing that happened might be revealed. I'm still shocked. Yeah. The thing just happened and I haven't seen the protagonist's reaction to it yet, so I am dying to know how she's going to react. It's crazy. Okay guys, so I think I'm gonna end my vlog here. I've continued reading a bit. I've still got about 50 pages to go. I think I'll leave like the rest of my thoughts on this book for my review. My review will probably be up in the next like week or two. If you've read Rebecca, let me know your thoughts and reactions in the comments below. Overall, so far though, beautiful book. I love the writing style a lot, and I love that it has that kind of mystery element to it, especially with the dramatic twist thing. Wow. So I definitely think for people who like classics, for people who like mystery, I think you'll like this one. I just think it's brilliant. So thank you guys for watching this, and I'll see you with another video in a couple of days. Bye.